Welcome to another episode of the 2-for-1 podcast. I'm your host, Dion, and we got the whole crew here today. We're back to share our full-blown end-of-season awards, the ballots. I know we have a couple of games left, but I think we've pretty much landed on who we feel deserves the recognition from this 2025-26 NBA season. So, joining me live, where his Raptors find themselves in a dogfight to avoid the play-in tournament with just 4 games left, the second longest tenured member of this specific podcast feed, it's my main man, Mitchell Sider. Mr. Sider, how are you doing on this fine Monday evening?
Can you call the founder and owner a member? And like you got to put yourself in your own class. I'm technically the senior associate, if you really want to boil it down. But things are not looking good in the North. If we get ragdolled by like Orlando or Miami or the Hornets, I will be a very, very sad man. So, but hey, you know.
I mean, there's no shame in losing to the Hornets, but yeah.
No, there's still 2026 shame.
Are you going to tell me there's no shame in losing to a team that has not won a playoff series since God only knows when?
This is the thing, right? It's like if we lose a playoff series to the Hornets, it's like the Hornets go, "Oh my God, finally!" and we go, "Oh darn."
Lottery pick though.
Shut your fucking mouth.
I bet you Mitch is so excited to add a lottery pick that they're going to draft some.
Hey.
I think I know how tall
am pretty excited about adding a lottery pick if that happens. I will be pretty excited.
All I meant is I'm pretty sure you'd like to see them win a playoff series before
I'd rather that. I would rather that.
Sense.
That is true.
Well, joining us live from the state where Kalshi unfortunately just won out in a state lawsuit that will continue to allow them to host sports betting on their platform, it is the man, the myth, the Nate, Mr. Taylor. Do you have anything that you'd like to say to none other than Mr. Giannis Kalshi Antetokounmpo himself?
Not even the Giannis, just like people oh, the odds have changed. They've shifted for the MIP. They've shifted for the MVP. They've shifted for NBA Finals favorites. Like, Kalshi is not a source of odds or like they literally take how many bets are being placed on a certain thing, and that's how they calculate their odds. So for those morons that keep sending me tweets, some of my friends, I'm talking to you, stop saying shit as if, oh, this has a better chance of happening now. Kalshi's got the inside source. Kalshi's got my balls in their mouth. That's what they've got.
Yeah, Kalshi is not Vegas, to be clear. It's a quote-unquote prediction market.
In a ditch,
just not a fan of their existence, though. Not a fan of them partnering with NBA players.
It's literally a legal way to get kids to like people under 21 to be able to gamble. Like my brother is 18 years old, 19 years old, one of those two ages, and he's gambling, which is just awesome. Like, that's sick.
Love it. Gotta love it. But last and certainly not least, fresh off of getting to meet Kendrick Perkins live from the land, Josiah Cook, how are you, sir?
Good afternoon, Hoop Talkers. Doing great. Dion, you'd be happy to hear Kendrick was repping the Celtics a lot when in this conversation. Said it was the best team he played for.
I mean, I imagine that is how we feel, given that was his only real successful tenure in the league. But
hey, I wouldn't sleep on his time in Oklahoma City as well.
I would. I'd take a big fat nap.
With how KD has reminisced about Kendrick Perkins, I would also sleep on.
Well, I was around, and I remember him helping us get to the finals. So shout out to Kendrick Perkins.
Which makes it 2026. So we're here to talk about our 2025-26 NBA awards ballots. We'll obviously get started with the MVP, but we'll go through all the awards. We'll go through the All-NBA, the All-Defense teams. Maybe even some of the ancillary ones, if you will. But starting with MVP.
Antlers. Like the deer antlers?
Ancillary, active listening.
Ancillary.
But let's get started with
the
MVP.
word ancillary.
I would say, for me, this is the one award where it wasn't as rational or logical. It was more of like just what I felt right when it comes to MVP. Because I feel like every year we kind of talk about how there is no real criteria for it, and everyone kind of makes their own criteria to fit their own agenda. So I came up with my ballot. I think we all have the same top 4. Obviously, that's kind of been settled. But it really was more of like what just felt right when I put it on the piece of paper. So, Josie, I'll go to you first. What is your top 5 for the MVP?
I wonder.
Shocker name.
Jesus Christ, guys. Okay. Is it that crazy to have Shea at number 1, really?
No, it's not crazy. We just know
it's not
that
crazy at all. It just he could have said, we could have like gone around the ring and then skipped you twice, and I knew exactly what name was going to come.
Well, that's why I want to kick him first. We knew how.
You don't know who's going to be number 2, to be fair.
Okay.
But number 1 for me is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I think he's been consistently the best player this year. Don't think it's a hot take to say that. I do think there are 2 other players that have legitimate great cases and great seasons, but I think Shea has just been rock solid all year long. So I would give the nod to him. Number 2, it was a toss-up. Honestly, this game that came up for me this past weekend played a big part. I'm honestly going Nikola Jokic at number 2. I feel like he's been overlooked a bit in this discussion, honestly, and I feel like he's producing at the highest level of his career and has gotten this team back on the right track at the perfect time. And that little OT fade over Victor Wembanyama.
Oh my God, so
fresh in the memory.
Oh
that
my
helped.
God.
What a great game that was. Number 3, I got to go to Victor. I just think both sides of the ball, he's been absolutely so impactful this year. Everything you could hope for a 22-year-old. And he's going to get the MVP at some point. For me, just not number 1 this year. Then Luka, for me, we've talked at length about him recently. And then number 5, I had Jaylen Brown. So
I love it.
That's my 5.
I didn't go all 5. I'll be honest. I put 3.
I did 3. So
you guys didn't do 5. You guys didn't fill out a full ballot.
Because it's not okay. Because the thing is with the ballot, right? It's 1 and 2 for your arguments, and then 4 and 5 have no chance at all. Like if you're looking at it like a statistical spread, it's like
that is
70. It's like 75, 10, and then 5, 5.
Like in case the people listening out there don't know this, we don't have NBA media credentials, so we're not actually filling out a real.
But how are we ever going to earn the credentials if we're not doing it properly, Mr. Taylor?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Because
I do think
use common sense that we're not going to actually be giving any first place votes to a guy we have 4th or 5th on the list.
Yeah,
I digress.
Well, for me this season, I think there was a very clear top 4, and then I also slid Jaylen Brown in at 5. But obviously you guys are going to point to me and say Celtics bias, but I do feel like he has the 5th best.
No, I don't know. I understand.
I think he most certainly would be the 5th name on there. But again, that 1% or the 1 first place vote he might get, like why bother, right? It's cool that he on his basketball reference he'll have finished top 5 and MVP, but that's like being like the 5th loser.
Okay, all right.
In this instance,
4th loser technically.
So, all right, then, Mr. Sider, how did you kind of order your top 4 then?
Can I just ask really quickly? I just want to ask really quickly. Does anyone not have SGA?
No, I have SGA.
Yeah, I have SGA. Yeah, like
let's go unanimous, baby.
Yeah, like this is pretty much cleaned up at this point.
Yeah. I also went Jokic too, and a lot of it did kind of.
I also went Jokic too. So I think we all had Jokic. We literally have the same MVP awards, like 1 and 2. I don't think we should really argue over the semantics of who's 3, 4, 5.
I would just like to argue for Luka over Wemby. I think just the minutes is what it came down to for me. Like Wemby is like 300 or 400 minutes behind, and just has not played as many games. I know Luka's pretty close as well, but for me, I think that just has to do with it.
Luka, we're still up in the air about whether or not they're going to count him for the awards or not at the moment.
Fair.
So that's kind of why I did hold off on putting Luka anywhere. But if he does count, I'm putting him 3rd, and I think there's an argument for him 2nd, although I wouldn't make it right now.
I had him 2nd at first, but then I went back to say, okay, does this feel right? And to me, I ended up sliding Jokic last second.
But it's SGA. He's got his 2nd one pretty much wrapped up in saran wrap in his trunk.
Okay, sure.
That makes no sense.
Because it really is a 3-man race. There's so many names you could throw there just because of the individual level.
You want to throw out LaMelo Ball? Sure, let's throw out LaMelo Ball and let's get on.
But speaking of LaMelo Ball, let's move to Rookie of the Year because this was obviously a 2-man race.
Speaking of
one
LaMelo.
in which you guys obviously understand what I'm saying. This was another one that was kind of tough for me because I do feel like start to finish, Concanupple had the better season, but Cooper Flag is just so much obviously the better player, and he's been doing it for a decent while now, and I just can't decide if it was long enough that he's kind of turned into this player that I think he should get Rookie of the Year.
Is it Rookie of the Year or Rookie of the last 3 months? Like, what are we doing here?
But it's not like Cooper Flag was that much behind Concanupple to start the season either. So I'm trying to weigh solid, consistent player across the whole year in Concanupple versus Cooper Flag just continuing to get better as the year goes on.
I had a dark awakening before the episode, and I was like, Concanupple's my pick for Rookie of the Year. And then I was like, is he? And then I started reflecting deeper, and I started looking within myself. I went to the mirror, and I said, Nate, is Concanupple really the best rookie this year? And I said, I don't know. I really Cooper Flag's just been that good. And you look at the individual statistics. I'm not someone to go goo goo gaga for PRA, but you look at the PRA and it's pretty nice for Cooper, and it's still nice for Con, but it's nicer for Cooper. His team is pretty dog shit. Like, you look at that Mavericks roster and then you see a collection of just some of the most random players you'll see in the NBA. If you had told me this season that Moussa Cisse was going to be a legitimate rotation player, I would have told you were mad and probably on a different combination of illicit substances. But we get to this point in the season, and Cooper, I think, as an individual player, has just been that little bit better, and it's the Rookie of the Year award. I don't think that winning should be accounted a ton for Rookie of the Year, especially when I think at this point Cooper's just clearly had the better rookie season, as much as I hate to say it. As cool as the setting the rookie record for 3-pointers made this season, I just can't give it to Con and feel good about it at this point. As much as I love Con, it's just got to be Cooper's award.
That was beautiful, and you sold it. That was like a much more impassioned version of how I kind of felt leading up to today. So I'm fully on board with you.
Yeah, I just any rebuttals from the peanut gallery?
Yeah,
you're gonna say peanut gallery for some reason.
I mean, recency bias is taken over crazy because again, Con has had the better year on the whole. He's contributed to winning better. Obviously, Dallas as a roster, that shit blows. That blows ass. The construction around Coop is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Being the only teenager to have a 50-point dub is fantastic. Being the only rookie with multiple 45-point games before the age of 20, the only other person to do that would be Michael Jordan, is also
that
fantastic.
guy was good.
However, if you look at Con on the whole and not just what has been shoved down your throats through Instagram reels and edits of Coop in the last 2 months.
Okay,
no. Okay, again, Dion, love you to death, but you're always going to play the I told you so with Coop because you drafted him in this fantasy league because Josie passed him up. I respect your take on it, but this will always be a looking back on I told you about Coop before anybody else even had him kind of thing. And I love you for that. And I respect that you're going to always call on that. But your Coop is going to be taken with a huge grain of salt. There's an asterisk next to it because you were going to give it to him probably 45 games in.
Okay, but
I gave it to Coop probably like 45 minutes ago. I had the same.
The green goblin mask on your shoulder was always saying, "But look at the main event. Look at the white boy. Look at him go."
But I was someone who passed
remember Rutgers. Remember,
I was somebody that passed up on Cooper Flag though in fantasy and let Dion take him ahead of me, and I still feel the same way. As Cooper has on the whole season, I think to say that it hasn't been close or it's been. Con has been way better or the clearly better player for the whole season up until the past 3 weeks is just not true, or else he wouldn't have the significantly better stats.
Words I did not say, by the way. Did not say.
No, well, you said we're looking at the whole season, and you said that Con has had the better whole season, and I just don't agree with that, especially when you look at the numbers. You look at the fact that some nights Con is their 4th, 5th best player on the Hornets. There has not been a single game this season where Cooper Flag has not been a top 1 to 2 most important player on the Mavericks, in that single game. I think that if
bars
you put
in
Cooper,
hell, Daryl.
I was going to say, because if we're going team,
if you put Cooper over in Charlotte, I think he's doing the same thing, if not better, and they might have more wins. I'm not trying to discredit Con and his shooting ability, but Cooper's already looking like a potential top 30 player in basketball. I just can't say that about Con Knuppel.
I think he would perform significantly worse in Charlotte's system. Like, I think in terms of Dallas, him going and getting that has been the Dallas offense. That has been the Dallas system in a team where. Like Charlotte's biggest need was somebody to be able to extend to the 45 and be able to space, like not vertically, but more out to here. In terms of what Coop's bringing to the table, I mean, his sidestep looked fantastic these past 3 weeks. I like I'm sure you've seen it. He wraps from the left, gathers the ball on the right, and then takes the step this way. He hit a nasty one over Jake LaRavia. That was just textbook. But I think Con, we're talking about like what they give to the game in terms of gravity. Con has that on right now, and I think in Charlotte's system, that just is infinitely more beneficial. However, I will concede to you, Coop, if we are going in like the micro, if you were to give me like 90 days versus 90 days, I'm probably taking Coop. I think I've seen the valleys and the hills between these two players, and I think the valleys were a lot lower with Coop, and he's dug himself out of them, and he's realized that, okay, I've made this mistake 27 times. On the 28th try, I won't make it. Con, from the gate, was like, okay, this is my game. This is where I can expand upon it. And he's just added layer and layer and layer. Coop has added polish to the game, while Con has just been like, oh, I'm not as unfit as I thought against other NBA caliber athletes. I can get my shot off here and there. Like, it's not to discredit Coop. It's that I think from the 66 games of Coop versus the 78 games of Con, he's shown me that right now he's had the better rookie season. Obviously, next year, Coop's going to be the better player. But if I'm looking at the year on the whole, I'm probably still leaning Khan.
Yeah, I look at them both as a chance for them to have generational impact on basketball going forward. For Khan, he's one of the best shooters out of the gate we've ever seen. For Cooper, just one of the best players at that age that we've ever seen. So for me, it actually did come down to who was contributing most to positive gains on the court. So I just had to give the edge to Khan on this one. I think that both of them are incredible players. I think maybe if Cooper didn't have that stretch at the beginning of the season, his averages would have been that much better.
Right.
And he could have gotten there for me. But for me, there's no substitute for what Khan came in and helped change a culture. Whereas Cooper, I think, is still is going to need to establish that with Dallas. So that was where I was at. But I think both of them are going to be all-stars in this league.
To round out the top 5, I went with Dylan Harper 4. I know the minutes aren't quite there, but that matters a little bit less to me for Rookie of the Year than most other awards. And then I went Cedric Howard 5th for his start to the season, and obviously not maintaining it the whole year, but being a very solid rookie throughout. So that rounds out my top 5. And then I think we might as well just knock out kind of all rookie here if you guys have any other names you really wanted to throw out there.
I actually totally forgot and spaced on the all rookie teams.
I have my teams.
You're never getting a ballot, buddy.
Getting a ballot.
Dude, I spent like 3 hours on this, so I'm getting my names off.
He's getting a ballot.
Like,
that's a guy right
Carter,
there with a ballot down the line.
I like the inclusion of Carter. I just can't think of like. I'm trying to think of why I disagree with you, but I can't think of like a good enough. Like Ace has been great. Maxime has been.
Yeah.
I mean, like better, but like Maxime would probably be my 5 actually.
He was my 6.
Do you have like Coward or Queen up and around there? Or?
Oh fuck, I forgot about Derek Queen. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
okay,
you
well,
forgot
my
about
team's
Derek
seven.
Queen.
I had 9 and then a
Okay.
bunch of candidates for 10, and I
That's
literally
okay.
forgot
We
about
can
Derek
forget
Queen.
about Derek Queen.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like it's justified. But
Okay,
honestly,
and to be clear, did you just do 5 rookies or two?
no, 5 rookies.
Guards,
5
but-
rookies.
okay.
As traditional as I am about the All NBA teams, all rookies, just whatever. So
Okay, cool.
I went Coop, Concanipple, VJ Edgecombe, Dylan Harper, Cedric Howard as my all rookie first team, I guess. Second team, Maxime Renault, Colin Murray Boyles, Ace Bailey. I'll slide Derek Queen in there, and then I went with Ryan Kalkbrenner. With Carter Bryant on the edge.
Really?
With Yannick Coden Niederhauser on the edge for me. I think he's really
Dude, I would
great.
put goddamn Mohamed Diawara before I'm putting Ryan Kalkbrenner.
No, really? Okay, so hold on.
Really?
So no Trey Johnson, no Cedric Howard. You put
No,
in
Cedric Howard's 5.
Yeah.
Trey Johnson.
Oh,
is
sorry, I
fabulous
didn't.
now.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah. Okay.
Did you say Ace
All right.
Bailey?
Ace Bailey, number 8, depending on where I want to put Derek Queen. Yeah.
Okay.
And shout out Hugo Gonzalez. Just gonna throw his name
Yeah.
out there.
No,
Since
shut
he has
up.
his name.
So I
So
had
the first team has to be Cooper, Khan, VJ, Harper, and then
And
who's
mystery
your fifth?
5th spot. I went with Cedric Howard. I could hear Maxime Renault.
I'd put Coward or Renaud there, and then put the other of the two
Yeah,
on the
just
second
bing, bang,
team.
boom. Okay.
Murray Boyle's definitely on that second team.
Oh,
I-
shit.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
No doubt.
I
Um,
didn't have him on my second team.
I actually
Yeah,
forgot
I had
him.
7.
There are 9 rookies that I can say have had definitively a better season.
Ace Bailey I'll have on there, obviously.
I had Jeremiah Fears on mine.
Actually, no.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm putting Ace Bailey on my first team.
Okay.
I'll put Renaud, and I've been really impressed with Ace Bailey over the.
He's
past
been really
month
good,
and a half.
like post All-Star. Yeah.
He was my 5th guy too. I had Fears,
I-
Queen, and Johnson as the other 3 there.
I have no. I just have the rookie stats
try.
up in front of me.
Obviously I had Con Coop, VJ, I had Harper, and then I also had Maxime, and then I had Ace, Cedric Howard, Derek Queen, Fears, and Trey Johnson.
I like that. That's fine.
Yep.
I didn't have CMB. He'd probably be like 11.
Cockbrenner, where did you?
Yeah, that's why
drunk?
I was like,
I mean, the statistical production in the first half of the year was pretty good. I know he doesn't
first
play
like quarter of the year.
A third. We'll settle on a third. Anyway, Nate, who do you have second for Defensive Player of the Year?
No, I just. It's like this is such a hot take. I feel like that I don't want to go first here.
Oh,
well,
shit.
now you have
Oh
to.
shit! Hot take. Okay, let me hear it.
It's not
Share with the
Chet.
class.
I don't even want to say it because Dion's
Say it.
gonna like fucking.
Say it.
Derek White?
I have Derek White as second. For
No
my
way,
Defensive
yes,
Player
Derek
of the Year.
Yeah, bro. Fuck no.
Whoa.
Get the fuck out of here,
Whoa.
bro.
Because-
More impactful than
if you're talking about like, I know obviously the bigs and the rim protectors of the world, but I don't know if there's any
Don't
one.
exclude Derek White from rim protectors now.
You're not letting. I'm not sure if there's a single player who this season has stood out to me more defensively from just watching the games. Where it's like when I'm not even zoning in on watching defense, or I'm focused on one player, or like Derek White just makes things happen. Whether it's coming on for the weak side and blocking a shot that he has no business blocking, whether it's locking up the best players in the league, he does that on a regular night-to-night basis too. He gets out in transition and turns defense into offense. He's probably the number one guy I look at when you see how good this defensive team or the Celtics defense has been as a team. The advanced numbers are ridiculous for him and both the team as a whole. Like, maybe it's a hot take, but there was nobody else that I felt really good about going right after Wemby except for Derek White. And I as much as it pains me to glaze a Celtics player like this, like Derek White for me has just been so good defensively this season, and he's probably the second reason why Boston has been this good, especially with his shooting just falling off a cliff. Although it has steadily or slowly gotten up there.
It'll be fine.
He's still under 40% on the season from the field, so
that's okay. He actually ended up 4th for me, but I love it. I couldn't be happier with you right now. Makes me actually want to move OG Anunoby up a spot, but I'm not going to do it.
I did not have him in my top 5, unfortunately.
Same here.
Well, Mitch, I'm curious who you had at number 2.
Wow, Derek White number 2. I mean, I had Chet too. I am not taking like, no offense to Derek White, lovely POA defender, but my God, if he would be,
he's not
second,
just a POA defender though. That's the thing. He's not. He is one of the best shot blockers in the league.
Hold on. Okay, hold on. Don't listen. I know it's Wemby's award, and 2, 3, and 4 don't really matter too much. But Derek White second to me would be like would be discounting a lot of some other very good defenders in the league. I have no problem with it because I'm not going to tell you he doesn't deserve to be in the mix. But like, I definitely didn't have second. Derek White was my 4th guy on this list. So like, I again. That's not 2 and 4. It's not a crazy far gap.
No, I know it's a hot take. It was more so
again,
value-wise the fact that the Celtics are what, the second best defense I think right now in the league.
They're like top 5. I think they were 4th last time I looked.
Yeah, I think
but
that's
like,
second.
What stands out to me most about the
distance or
Celtics
second.
is how they can guard pretty much any team that comes their way, and their flexibility defensively. And I think the number one reason for that is because Derek White is a 6'4" guard that can legitimately guard centers. Like, you could put him on other teams' bigs and feel comfortable about that. And I don't think there's any other guard in the league right now that it's like 6'4" and under at the very least that can do the same things. And I think maybe the shot blocking as a guard is something that just tickled me a little bit. And I was like, I think I like that.
Well, Mitch, who'd you have to round out your 2-3?
So I had Scotty as my 3rd guy on the list.
Oh.
I mean, it just
who's number 2?
I just told you Chet.
Yeah,
I literally just said Chet.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I couldn't be less off of Chet or more off of Chet.
Yeah, I get like I try to completely separate what I cared about the player.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So like from a defensive standpoint, there was a point where Scotty and Wemby were neck and neck for stocks. Obviously, Wemby is going to get way more blocks like as the season went on, so he surpassed him in that. But in terms of like, I literally broke it down for you guys in our group chat, and I got crickets for why I think Scotty would be depoy. So I'm not going to rehash the entirety of my segment again. But like in terms of switchability, versatility, the difficulty of matchup, Scotty is literally just behind Wemby in every possible way that you want to break it down. DPPM, Darko, LeBron D, any way you want to even like completely take the advanced analytics and look at the eye test. This motherfucker picks up all 94 feet of hardwood, 99% of the time, the hardest matchup on the floor, and puts them in fucking Alcatraz. Like, Scotty is there. He's the warden. He's in session. The only reason that he probably would never win one is because Victor Wembanyama exists. Like,
I had him second. I'll say I had him second, to be honest. Because to be honest, when you did bring up the last time you talked about you sending the Scotty stats and getting crickets, I did go back and look at his defensive numbers, and they are insane. Exactly what you just said, like right behind Wemby. So yeah, I went Wemby, obviously 1, Scotty 2. I honestly, again, looking at some of those defensive numbers, Rudy Gobert is still up there for me, and then I went Derek White 4. And I honestly, I really did not want to put Chet, but I think I had to put him 5.
Kind of what's up with that?
I just don't. It's
People
an
hate
eye
on
test
Chet
thing
right
for me.
now,
I
by
just
the
see
way.
him get banged on too many times. I just see him get pushed around a lot. I just see
You want to
him-
know what happens when you contest every shot at the rim? You're gonna get dunked
That's
on.
I
Like
understand that.
that's what happens when you are locked in 125% of the time on defense and you chase every possible rejection at the rim, you're going to get posted.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
what
You know why he can chase every single rejection at the rim, though? Is because he has 17 different all defensive players on his team. And he has
he can throw everybody they want. Yeah.
The reason why I'm not as high on I still reluctantly had him first team, but he is probably reason number 78 number 78 thing that I notice when I watch OKC's defense. Like Cason Wallace, I think pound for pound is a much better defender than Chet Holmgren. But obviously,
wait, he might weigh more than Chet. So
that's
Actually,
also
yeah,
a good counter argument. Chet just doesn't scare me, and I feel like every time he goes up against the elite bigs, he gets outplayed.
Yeah, what stands out to me is I think he's just a lot better defensively when Hartenstein's also on the floor. I think that's the much better version for him. And to me, I don't know, I wanted to put OG over him.
It's the same thing with Gobert, and I wanted to put two guys over Gobert and Holmgren, but I know I can't, and I know there's just no way to even have a ballot without having them on the first team this season. With Rudy Gobert, I'm just so tired of pretending he's a good defender in the regular season just for him to get shit on in the playoffs. So I guess we have to give him all these accolades and awards by default and make him a Hall of Fame lock, which sucks because I think Rudy Gobert is nowhere near a Hall of Fame talent. But I can't make the argument against him that he's not a Hall of Famer. The guy's his career resume is super impressive. Whether I think he deserves half of those accolades or not is a whole different conversation. So for my first team, I had Wemby, Rudy Gobert, Chet Holmgren, Derek White, Scotty Barnes. And then there's two guys I felt very strongly about on second team that I almost wanted to put first team, but I really just logically I couldn't do it. And that's Asar Thompson and OG Anunoby. Asar's almost a guy who I wanted to put top 3 in the Defensive Player of the Year voting, but he just doesn't play enough minutes. Yeah. But he has been, minute for minute, he might be the best defender in the NBA right now outside of Wemby. I understand the value of being a rim protecting big, especially in the regular season. And at the end of the day, it's a regular season award. So I'm not going to go and put OG or Asar over them. So, did you guys all have the same 5 on the first team then?
We have the same top 7 in some different order.
Yeah. So we all got Wemby, Gobert, Holmgren, Derek White, Scotty Barnes first team?
No.
No.
So
okay.
I did not. So the way I looked at it was, to me, there were 3 defenses this year that stood above the rest. One was the Spurs when Wembanyama played. 2 was the Thunder, and 3 was the Pistons. So I felt like those three defenses had to have some sort of representation in my top team. So I had Victor, Chet, and Asar on mine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then from there, I had Scotty Barnes, and then I had Derek White as my top guard. So he made the first team for me.
Wait, so who didn't? So Gobert didn't make your first team?
Yeah, Gobert was my 6th guy. I just kind of, I was knowingly having voters fatigue on Gobert because the stats were there, but I was just kind of
I wanted to. The advanced stats are just so good.
A lot.
Rudy's advanced numbers and their on off court stats with Rudy are it's night and day. That I want to make the argument. I genuinely cannot because it's just so blatantly obvious, at least for the regular season.
Yeah, and with respect to the Pistons, like you said, Josie, I did have Isaiah Stewart on my all defensive second team. I felt like he deserved a nod. I think for stretches was their best defender.
That's a flashbang in my face. Jesus.
At one point, he had the best rim defensive field goal percentage in the league. I don't know if that still held up. That's also a terrible stat. I could go into another.
Yeah, that's a good point. But still, I think he had a really good defensive stretch this season. It wasn't the whole year he was anchoring it down for them, but I thought he deserved recognition for the points that Josie was making.
And then I have one more lock. I want to see if you guys have him here. I had Stephon Castle on my second team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, Nate. There we go.
We talk about point of attack defenders. Him and Derek White have been 1A and 1B this season. Strictly in that regard. I think Derek White does a lot more defensively than Castle does in other regards. But if you're talking about the guy, when I like to say you have a defensive player that you can just say, go sick him on your best player.
Dude, you're going to say sick him.
Yeah, there's no better. Lou Dort is also in that conversation, but I have Lou Dort second team also, but Steph Castle definitely has to be there, I think, in some capacity.
I went Kassan Wallace over Lou Dort.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't hate that either.
Well,
I don't hate that either. I was close. I wasn't going to do both of them. I went back and forth, and I just gave it to Lou for his physicality.
I do think Dort's better, but based on the year they had, I think Dort struggled where Wallace was flying.
I just have to dock Dort for just having 3 dirty plays a game. Every national TV game, he's just going to injure somebody. I had to dock him a little bit for that. I'm sorry.
I haven't seen Wallace spear someone's legs before, so I mean,
Casey seems like a nice guy. He gets extra points.
Sure, that too.
He's learning from Dort, so he's going to be He's going to be
Even
going
worse?
at your
It's
Yeah,
gonna be
we'll
even
see what
worse?
happens.
Casey Wall's going
Um,
to go from my nice list to my shit list really fast if that's the case.
Any other shouts for all defense?
I had he was mentioned OG,
Mm-hmm.
and I honestly felt like Amon Thompson deserved a
Yeah,
shout for
yeah.
me.
He was on my list. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I
shout out
just
to-
give him?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, what were you saying?
I was gonna say shout out to Dyson Daniels for like getting much better as the season went on.
Dyson
Okay,
Daniels
no,
should
didn't
be
make
a
my
second
list.
teamer.
But he could make a second teamer. I wouldn't be mad.
I had a Sar, OG, Lou Dort, Stephen Castle, Dyson Daniels was my second team.
Okay. All right. I don't hate it. I think
What's
Mitch
Mitch thinking about?
I think Mitch might-
What's Mitchell thinking about?
Dyson would be like 10.5 actually. Now that I think about it, like I
Mm.
don't.
Oh, you're gonna take half
Like-
of it? You're gonna cut him
like-
in half?
Well, no, because like he's. I won't lie. I panicked, sold all of my Dyson Daniels stock. I gave 40. I literally was like, "Go, get out of here!" My portfolio was ruined. And then all of a sudden, Dyson Daniel was like, "Wait a minute! I can play defense really good. Who cares if I shoot 11% from 3? I'll just get in their stance the whole time."
I think
and then
he's
he did.
officially had the most inefficient 3-point shooting season of all time.
Does
I
he,
think
there
he-
was a point in the year where he had more air balls than makes from three.
I don't say of all time. That would hurt.
So true. Well, speaking of Hawks guards, let's move to most improved player. Let me just slide in real quickly before
Oh,
we talk
actually,
about the obvious.
I didn't get
candidate.
to get on my soapbox really quick and give my little OG Anunoby needs to be an all defensive member this season or it's a crime against humanity.
Well, I
'cause
think
don't-
we all had him on.
Yeah,
the
I
list,
just
so.
like he's only how is this guy only a one-time all defensive player in his career? That makes no
Games
sense
played.
to me.
But before we
He's-
get into the
okay.
obvious candidate for most improved player, I want to just slide in. Like, I wanted Dennis Jenkins to win this award. I wanted to give it to him, but I think like,
Win?
yes, but
No,
it just
he
doesn't
might be
make
number
sense.
2, but he would not win.
It just doesn't make
No.
sense. He played like 23 minutes last season, so like improved.
Yeah.
Hard to say. But to
Well,
go from a guy who played 23 minutes last season to like starting games for a team that's not going to be the 1 seed in the East, I mean, it's just
This
very
is-
impressive. Just wanted to
This
shout
is
him
what
out.
I
but-
was going to propose to you before we even begin our lists.
Mitch is gonna propose to Dion.
Dion, would you make me the second happiest man in the world?
Who's the
you'd,
happiest?
you'd be first for marrying me, but
Oh.
you know.
right.
But what
I'm gonna use that when I propose in 35 years.
It would have
You're
to be
gonna
to
propose to a
another
man?
man.
you're
by
gonna
the
be
way.
40.
You just
Yeah.
insinuated you're proposing to a man.
Yeah,
That's
I
a-
know.
Damn. Thanks. What I was gonna say was, does MIP mean the same to everybody? Obviously, it doesn't
Yeah,
because what weighs more value? If you're already a fringe all-star player and then you level up to an all NBA fringe player, does that jump mean the same as a player who was cracking the 10th man in rotation to putting up like 20 points a game the next year? Now, this is where we're going to stipulate with the lists, obviously, because you introduced the list with Na as your first. I assume most of us on the list have Na winning the award.
Sí, por
I assume.
favor.
Yeah.
As well.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So why not Jenkins? Why not Jenkins number 2? Wouldn't
I'll
it
give
be a
you why.
fun story? Wouldn't it be fun?
I
I'll
like
tell-
it.
I'll
yeah.
tell you why, because he might have been the worst player in basketball
Yeah,
for like 2 to
true.
3 weeks after he got paid. Like genuinely, he was shooting like 19% from the field
He
and like
sucked.
14.
Signed the check and was like, "Hey, remember when I ran your offense? It ain't gonna happen again."
There were
dog."
Pistons fans legitimately acting like they just committed a war crime after that like week and a half stretch of Dennis Jenkins putting up like 3 points a game on
I did. I might have
19%.
blacked
Like
that out
we
from my
actually
memory.
paid this guy after an insanity run. I can't believe this is my life. Oh my god, we're paying Jalen Duren $8 billion this offseason because he's gonna make all NBA.
Speaking of, that's actually who I did have number 2 was Jalen Duren. Because
Really?
No,
I do think
boo!
I'm usually anti like the guy that becomes an all-star that was like a lottery pick, but he's so much better than he was last year. Like Denny Avdia did not make my list, Jalen Johnson did not make my list because they already showed flashes of all-star play and then they became all-stars. To me, Jalen Duren was like I wasn't projecting him to be an all-star this year. I wasn't projecting him to be an all-NBA player, which he probably will be. Like I think he made a massive leap in his game, particularly on the defensive end, but honestly, even the aggression on the offensive end too. I think he's a much different player than he was at the end of last season. So to me, I felt like it made sense to put him on here for like turning into a star player.
I just have my 2 and 3. I don't even think are arguable for me, and I don't know how these guys aren't the top favorites. And to me, this is
Who's that?
it goes towards a lot the integrity of the award and what I wish it would go back to. I don't know. Should I go ahead and
Sure.
spill my beans? So for me, I had honestly you could go it either way. Second and third, I had Ryan Rollins and Colin Gillespie, 2 guys who were
Gillespie
literally
makes
not
it.
NBA players essentially
Yes.
last year, to 2 guys who are firmly good level starters on, not good teams. Obviously the Bucks stink, but Ryan Rollins is averaging 17 and 5, something we thought, hey, it's cute. Ryan Rollins has had a really nice start to the season, to holy crap, this is actually the Bucks' second best player outside of Giannis. This is one of the, not better starting point guards in the league, but this is a good starting point guard in the NBA. Same with Colin Gillespie, who goes from fringe end of the bench player to this guy is a very good starting point guard. He filled in for Devin Booker for a lot of the year. Then, he's starting next to Devin Booker with Dylan Brooks out. He's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league this season. He's a competent passer. Like Colin Gillespie and Ryan Rollins are the exact meaning and definition of, I think, what most improved player is, which is two guys who were scraping the rotation, barely getting in most nights, to two guys who are, staples to lineups.
That's not who's won the award.
Let me just interject quickly, because I love, Nate, your general thesis about what the award should be and how those guys embody that very well. And you've made great cases that I might want to slide them into my 2 and 3 as well. However, why does the same logic not apply to Neemias Queta, who you bashed me for including as a candidate?
Neemias Queta has not gotten that much better as a player. He literally went from a guy that gets rebounds and blocks a few shots to a guy that gets rebounds and blocks a few shots, plus, hey, I play a few more minutes.
It's way different to go from being the 4th center to the starter and still producing at the same sort of per 36.
I'd still say he's a well below average starting center. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, that's crazy work.
It's not crazy work. He's going to suck in the playoffs. Watch.
How's that?
What'd you say?
I'll trade you Jakob Poeltl for Neemias Queta. How's that? Deal?
Why would I? That's a below average starting center.
Deal.
Jakob Poeltl is better than Neemias Queta.
You don't really.
Oh no!
You don't really believe that.
Oh yes,
yes, I do.
Yes. No. Yes, he's the better center. So clearly, Mr. Sherman, I'm cutting you a deal. You might have to include a couple seconds if we're making this trade happen.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Yeah, I don't know about that one, man. But no, I think you've made very impassioned cases for Rollins and Gillespie. And I think they probably do have stronger cases than Queta, but I think the same logic applies as far as like why they would be candidates. But Josie, who did you have? Because you said you didn't have them.
Well, I had Alexander Walker and I had Duran, and then I had Rollins. But
okay, gotcha.
So I did have the same guys.
For 6-man, this is one that I'm gonna open the floor to all you guys, because I have 5 names that I feel good about. You could tell me my order is completely backwards, and I'd be like, okay, fine, sure. But I have a lot of different guys. I'm curious to see if anyone felt really strongly about a number 1.
Yeah.
I did have a strong number 1. Yes.
Okay.
Very strong. I'm not sure if Justin and I have the same number 1, but I think Keldon Johnson has like a bulletproof case for 6-man.
Okay, that's who I landed on.
He's come off the bench the entire year. He's defending at a borderline elite level for a 6-man. Shooting the 3, fantastic. Everything that you want a 6-man to do, Keldon Johnson is doing it, and he is quite literally your all-in-one Swiss Army knife. Whatever Wemby is not doing at the moment, I will pick up the slack and do on a winning team. I think a guy that has the stats of a 6-man of the year that makes it look really good is Jaime Jaquez Jr., but that motherfucker is shooting like shit. And I'm not usually an efficiency merchant, but watching this motherfucker have the most like 2-piece slut jaw jump shot is making me so angry because it doesn't make sense.
You mean he's shooting from shit like from 3, right? Not from like overall.
I mean, if
he has like no perimeter scoring.
Yeah, I know that, but like he is a pretty efficient player in like regards to not
in terms of true shooting percentage. Yes, but
okay.
I mean the difference
jump
between,
shooting is disgusting.
Yeah. Okay, I agree.
Yeah, he ended up 5th
between him. Yeah, okay. Do you have Dosunmu somewhere up in that?
Probably 6th, 7th.
6th.
Yeah, he didn't make my ballot.
Not at all. Okay, so now
I think 6-man of the year is the hardest award.
It's
to give
very
to a guy
hard,
that
and
was
I have a
created
name on here that I
mid-season.
think you guys are gonna think is crazy.
True.
Maybe I should. I was gonna.
Okay, I think because I think this is Keldon Johnson's award, like locked up.
Okay,
like, this
yeah,
is just, like,
I think unfortunately it is, but I also think that like
why is that unfortunate?
Because I think he had a really bad stretch during the season that just kind of got ignored and glossed over.
Man, I love Keldon.
No, his numbers on the season are really good, and the defense is another good point that Mitch brings. That most 6-men.
You guys think
candidates aren't?
You guys think he ended up getting that llama?
No, they lost the cup.
Oh, they didn't win the cup,
but they got some 2nd place money.
No,
right?
but he said if they won the cup, he was getting the llama.
It was contingent on winning. Anyway,
and then
Mitch, who rounded out your ballot then?
I actually had Io because like I thought
number 2?
I wanted number 2. I wanted to give him like a little bit of a nod because like there's like his production, I get it. He's propped into more of like a focal role, and it kind of sucks that like you make a point. It's hard to gauge midseason, like whether or not that was just going to keep going like boom, or whether it was kind of going to plateau at some point. Then I had Reed number 4, Reed Shepard, not Bebo Paul. And then I had Nas at 5.
A guy to me whose odds are very low, but we talked about him. I think the last time we mentioned this award was Tim Hardaway Jr., who's a guy who's shooting 41% from 3 on the year, has been coming off the bench the entirety of the season, is the best bench player for the best offense in the league. And I think that when you talk about a 6-man, he is the traditional sense of what you expect a 6-man to do, where he comes off the bench and he's a flamethrower a lot of games, where Tim Hardaway is single-handedly swinging games in favor of the Nuggets. Are also the games where he swings games in favor of the other team. But I think when you talk about the 6-man role, Tim is like that guy other than Keldon for me, who I'd put right up there. And then Nas would probably be my third choice.
Absolute cinema. I'm glad you said it and I didn't have to, because I thought Mitch was going to flame me for having Tim Hardaway Jr. second.
No, I mean, Tim Hardaway's 4 for me, if you want to like go back to that criteria. Sure. But also, how many games did Keldon Johnson start this season?
0.
Boom. Yeah. How many
games?
I
thought he started 1. I thought he played 1, started 1.
0.
No.
He has started 0 NBA games this season.
Which I like. I think that should definitely matter a lot for 6.
Yeah. You don't know how many.
I could not disagree more, because I think the definition of a 6-man is stepping up for that 5th starter. So if there is someone who gets hurt in the starting lineup, I absolutely think that if you start 13 games, that should go against you. If anything,
but I'm saying if you're teetering around like 35, 40 starts.
No, I know, but this goes back towards, do you remember the Brogdon versus Quickly argument, where it was like, Brogdon didn't start a single game, versus where Quickly was starting and filling in for Brunson because he was injured, blah, blah, blah. I think, I'm not gonna say either one is wrong, but I think 6-man doesn't necessarily mean you're only coming off the bench. Like if you're filling in for that 5th guy, I think that means a lot.
The only thing that I really had different that I wanted to say was I did emphasize winning a lot on my ballot, and Keldon is tied, but he's won the most games in the league this year. Shout out to him. He played like 78 games so far this season.
Yes,
Are
you talking about win shares?
Just wins.
Like
the most.
And
he's played every game, and he's on the Spurs.
Yeah,
are the Spurs the best record in the league?
No.
How's the Thunder player not?
Other players have missed.
There's not a single Thunder player who's played every game.
That's how many players in the league do you think have played every game? Because you could probably count them on your hands.
I thought it was probably like 10 or 10.
The Thunder have the second most missed games, but
shit. Okay.
Shout out to the Grizzlies for being number 1 by a landslide.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I think with that, then, unless there's any other shouts, we can move to just finalizing our All NBA teams and get up out of here. Cool. All right. Well, first team's already locked. I mean, we decided on SGA, Luka, Jaylen Brown, Wemby, Jokic.
I thought
obviously not in that order, but
why are we automatically deciding Luka's on first team when there's a good chance he's not going to be on the?
Well, I think he's been good enough where like he's a lock if he does get there. So we'll add one more guy to the third team and we'll just keep it pushing. Okay.
No, because I thought that half the fun is deciding who's replacing Luka in the first team, because I think it's pretty likely that he doesn't get it.
Okay, fine. I'll go Donovan Mitchell.
I would probably go Kawhi Leonard.
Okay, he was probably my next guy.
Easily Kawhi over Donovan Mitchell.
So hold on. Now we're also so Cade's out, Luka's out.
Cade's out. I guess we'll say Luka's out. Sure. Ant is out.
Okay, so that means. Okay, so my first team's probably Shea, D. Mitch, Kawhi, Jokic, Wemby. Then at that point, if we're
Jay Brown got dropped, huh?
Oh yeah, Jaylen Brown. I guess he replaces.
I will hear the case that MVP is different than All NBA, so I will hear that. I think Jaylen Brown has a better MVP case than an All NBA first team case.
No, he can probably
makes sense to other people, but it makes sense to me.
He'll probably make it over Donovan Mitchell or Kawhi. Then
if Luka's not there, I don't see how Jaylen Brown isn't first team.
Then there we go. Then he's. I just said then Donovan.
No, I'm not. I'm saying to Dion because he said it's a harder case, but I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory.
No, I mean I'm saying if there's no Luka, I'm sliding in Donovan Mitchell, and if I'm not sliding in Donovan Mitchell, it's Kawhi. JB is there for me regardless.
Yeah. Okay. So because I have SGA, Jokic, Kawhi, Wemby, and Jaylen Brown. Donovan Mitchell should be nowhere near an All NBA first team. Like I'm sorry.
I mean. Okay.
I think he very good nod to be the sixth man off that, like the sixth name on that off that list, but sure.
No, I just think Kawhi is like firmly ahead of him in terms of All NBA rankings this year.
Can Kawhi be on the first team? But
that's who you had, Josie?
If we're taking Luka off, yes.
Okay, cool. I think Maxey has to be second team as well. Just the season start to finish production, he's playing 49 minutes a game, and he's putting up great numbers. Pretty much every single. I know he had like a bad stretch post injury, but like Maxey, I felt like pretty much in sharp for second team.
I mean, my second team would be really funny if I move Jaylen Brown down, because then there's 4 Jaylens on my
A lot
second
of
team.
Jalen's in here.
So like I think that could be really funny, but I will concede. I'll do
we all have the same first team though, except for switching around Kawhi and Donovan Mitchell. Then
Sure.
Right.
I went with Maxey, Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi, and Jalen Johnson. So if I'm replacing Donovan Mitchell,
say it. Say it.
I don't. This is
know
the thing.
You want
It's
to
like,
say it.
there's no one I feel like super. Like I look at my All NBA third team and I go like, okay, yeah, great players, top 25 talents in the league.
There's another Jalen.
Are they all NBA talent though?
You could add Jalen.
I had
You could add
Maxey
another
third
Jalen
team.
to
I'll
your-
say that.
Interesting. Okay, I think I'm. Oh man, I don't feel good about this, but I think just out of legacy bias, I'm gonna go Durant, sliding him up.
Oh,
I don't feel good about it, but I'm gonna do it.
nah.
So that's my pick. So wait, okay, then what's your second team, Nate? If you didn't have Maxey,
I had Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, Jalen Duren, and Jamal Murray.
okay.
Mine's very
I hate
similar
the
to
way that you read it out. I wish you could have done it a little bit more positionally for my brain. But
Oh well, unfortunately
That's
for you, that doesn't matter anymore.
unfortunately for me, it does matter in my head, so that's why I wish
Yes,
you did it.
because you are severely on the spectrum.
It's okay.
Here's Dion. I can make my list nice and itemized.
Okay,
for
thank you.
Itemized list.
So your guards are Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Maxey,
Beautiful.
and then followed by your three forwards. You have Jalen Brown, you have Jalen Johnson, and you have Jalen Duren.
Okay.
There you go. There's your lineup.
All right, fair is fair. Jamal Murray and Jalen Duren were both on my third team, as was
Okay.
Kevin Durant until I moved him up. So now I got to come up with a 16 guy here because
I
had
think
a
the
bunch of
third team
names,
is the
but-
really interesting part.
Yeah, I don't know. Josie, what does your second team line up here? Making sure I'm
Yeah,
not
so
missing-
I didn't have Maxey on my second team, but I had pretty much everyone else mentioned by you guys. I had Donovan Mitchell, Brunson, Jamal Murray, Jalen Johnson, and then I would slide up Durant
Okay.
into the next spot.
So
Maxey
you
would be
had
the first guy on my third
You had
team.
Duren on your third team then?
Duren's on my third team.
Okay.
Had Devin Booker on my third team,
Me too.
and then I had De'Aaron
Begrudgingly.
Fox.
De'Aaron Fox. Wow, not he, I don't even know if he's in my long list, to be honest.
Interesting.
Booker, I begrudgingly had on there because I just felt like Dylan Brooks was more important for like the first 20 games, and I feel like the first quarter of the season gets ignored when we do end of season awards. So I did begrudgingly put Booker, and then I had the one Scotty Barnes to kind of round out. So I had Booker, Jamal, Durant, Scotty, Duren. But if I'm replacing
surprised-
Durant,
I'm surprised you haven't slid Denny over there. I thought you would totally.
no,
try to
yeah.
pick
As
him
much
up.
as I do have some Denny bias, it just like second half of the season, man. Like once you get
I
that
feel
back
like there's a
injury,
pretty obvious one here that has to be here, even if you guys don't want to play.
I'm surprised Harden's not on your list right there.
he made
Not
my
gonna
long
lie.
list, yeah.
Okay.
But who did you have in mind, Nate?
So I had Maxey, Johnson, Devin Booker, and then my last two are like really like difficult. I think Cat has to be there. They're still a top 3 seed in the East. He's the second in the league in rebounds. He's still averaging 20. As much as I think he's had a bit of a down year, his first half wasn't great. His second half has been very good for the most part. So I gave Cat the benefit of the doubt because I don't feel really great about anyone else being there. And then I had to decide between Harden and Şengün. I literally could not I have both of those guys.
Harden.
Harden,
yeah.
Harden, and then Harden.
Yeah, but his efficiency just sucks.
Yeah, well, Şengün is not exactly Jokic.
No, he's not, but he also is on a better team right now. Or did the Cavs have a better record?
You
than the
know,
Rockets?
yeah, I mean,
The same record.
yeah,
So-
but not a team I could feel worse about as far as the playoffs go.
No, I know, but like Şengün's
Wait,
stats-
wait. Harden's efficiency sucks
Yeah, Şengün sucks too.
in a Cleveland jersey. I don't think Harden. That's far from what I would say sucks.
I'm looking at the whole season, not Harden and Cleveland.
I mean, okay, so like
42, 37, 85 splits is not great.
I mean,
totally fine.
I mean,
It's-
40. I mean, okay, sorry.
a lot
The,
of threes, so-
25 game sample size in Cleveland, and like you combine that with 40 games, like it's not 42% from the field anymore, because like the 42 plus 48 divided by 2, and
It's
then
43,
not an even,
37,
it's not an even
88.
split though. If games
like
split.
no, obviously not, but like I think on the whole, it's his.
All right,
Cleveland
sure. I don't care
percentages-
enough. Give it to Harden. Go for it.
Okay, cool. But I think I would be stuck between Harden or Cat maybe for the last spot then, unless someone
No,
else wants
no,
to throw another
I-
name out there.
I would say, sorry, my third team looks like Jamal, Harden, KD, Cat, and then I have Scotty. So
I
mean,
wanted to get there with Scotty. I just like the offensive production hasn't been good enough. I couldn't do it.
I think the defensive presence has been good enough that it.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm not. I understand the case. I just the Raptors are barely a playoff team right now. Scotty's offense has been an issue at times. Like I've seen Raptors fans complain about it a fair amount, the half court offense that he lacks. But
I had him second on my depoy ballot. I felt like it made sense for me.
Yeah, I have him first team all defense. I just couldn't get there with the All-NBA. But that last spot I don't love anyway. So if you want to go tell me Scotty's over Harden or Şengün, go for it.
Okay, cool. Well, I know Josie wanted us to mention Clutch Player of the Year. It's going to SGA, and given the way that the rest of these ballot discussions have gone, I don't want to spend time talking about 2 through 5.
I mean, no, there's
I just wanted to bring up that there should be 2 unanimous awards this time. Number 1 should be Defensive Player of the Year, because that's why we started talking about the second place with that one. And then the other one should be Clutch Player of the Year. I don't think there's been any debate on either of those.
I don't
awards.
even really have a great candidate for number 2. I thought your De'Aaron Fox for All NBA pick was very interesting, though. I didn't want to gloss over that, because I feel like there are times when he's not even as important as Steph Castle, who I think has arguably maybe a better All NBA case than Fox.
I was going to say,
I think he's been a lot more. Maybe I'm wrong on this one. I think he's been more available this year and has played a bigger role with, I think, 52 out of 57 or their wins or whatever it is. He's been on the floor for them. So
that's a good number.
For me, he's been so tough in a lot of the games I've watched, so it could be biased. I wanted to get another Spur on there. I was like, between him and Castle, they both have great numbers. So
okay. I don't mind the case. And then I think you wanted to touch on Executive of the Year, if I'm not mistaken. I was just asking, like, how do you even gauge that? Like, there's no odds or anything for that. Yeah, I don't know. But I feel like someone threw out Troy Weaver. I forget which one of you said it, but I think it has to be Brad Stevens. I mean, for them to just pull out all of these guys, all these late first-round picks, second-round picks, and just build a rotation after losing 5 of their 7 best players.
What did Brad Stevens do?
Put together a roster after losing, like shedding the salary, shedding the luxury tax, and then still putting together a roster that turned out to be
Brad Stevens.
Yeah, but I think that's more in coaching. Like, I don't think if you like Brad Stevens, I don't think knew that Hugo and Jordan Walsh were just going to be fine as your backup wing duo, because they weren't for half the season.
Yeah, I guess. But I think it had more to do with, like, the Spurs didn't make these major roster moves to put him into the 2 seed. It was more of what they already had prior to the start of the season versus the Celtics going into the offseason, like, completely retooling the roster. I
mean, did the Celtics, like, I'm not just saying, like, who did the Celtics add other than Garza and Minot, who's not there anymore?
Simons. They like Stevens.
Simons is gone and was traded for Vucevic, who doesn't play.
Exactly. Right. Brad Stevens did one of the most masterful tax avoidance moves of an offseason period that you could possibly do.
And then did it again at the trade deadline.
Boston fan, don't chime in here. I'm trying to help your case. Okay. And then replicated that move in unseemly ways while maintaining a winning team while missing their best player or their second best player. He did all of these things while just orchestrating the puppets of other stupid GMs willing to pick up the phone. Like he pulled the wool over so many people's eyes, and I won't lie, a part of me wanted them to keep Simons. I understand why they had to move on from Simons, but he did. Like, I'm surprised he doesn't have like an MBA and like an accounting degree, because he balanced the books like an insane man. Like no other GM aside from Presti and maybe an alive Jerry West could do like so many crazy things to duck the way the tax the way that Celtics did. It amazes me that Stevens was able to maneuver the way that he did. Like, I think this is the Brad Stevens Award this year, and I don't think it's like a let me give a bid to Presti. Like, I think Brad very clearly should just take this home.
Not even like a guy like Salah for the Hawks.
That's who I wanted to mention.
The fact that the Hawks,
year.
He basically took a piece of dog shit that Landry Fields left him and turned it into the 5th best team in the East right now. And with a guy who looks like baby LeBron headlining their franchise after moving on from the star who was holding them back for 4 years. So I think
good call.
Like,
the Pelicans trade.
I commend.
Oh, the Pelicans trade.
Yeah, the Pelicans trade too. We got a potential top 3 pick in one of the most loaded drafts ever for Derek Queen. I'm credit to Brad Stevens. I understand like what he did, the moves to get out of the tax, but I don't think that I think the product that we've seen on the court is more, to Joe Mazzulla than it is to Brad Stevens. Like, I think Brad Stevens expected this team to be bad, and I think Joe Mazzulla was like, no, I'm not. That's not happening.
One more shout out.
I think Brad Stevens. I'm giving him. I think Brad Stevens is smart enough to not go into the season thinking that rookie Hugo Gonzalez and Jordan Walsh was going to be their bench wing rotation, and that was going to be fine. I think that was Joe Mazzulla taking what he was given and doing the absolute most with it. So maybe that was part of that credit goes to Stevens for trusting Mazzulla in that. But like, I don't like the Celtics didn't make enough moves to get better where I'm like, okay, like Brad Stevens, executive of the year. I understand
maybe
it.
if Vooch didn't like break his finger and he was like a much better guard
To
right
me-
now, it'd be a better
me,
case. I
executive
like
of the
Salah,
year-
but you missed me on the Spurs take.
Yeah, to me, this executive, Leo, I still like that one because I think to me, executive of the year is who did the best job to turn around their team and improve from last season. So I think it's just as much the coach of the year award, like where it's the team that was the biggest surprise. I think it's just more of a team building aspect, which the Hawks fit that to a T.
Okay. I'll hear the Hawks case, not so much the Spurs, but
All right.
cool.
Lawrence Frank, I do think there should be some mention of the way he operated the deadline. I think he's the number one guy this year for the deadline, and just the way he changed the future of the Clippers, honestly, this year.
Yeah. Good shout. Fair enough.
Gotta give
Yeah,
your
'cause
hat-
they got really
Yeah.
good value for Zoo, especially if they land that 5 through 9 pick. Whew. Much as
Really
I
hoping
love
they
to.
do.
Ooh, I don't want to live in that reality.
I
Yeah.
do.
Well, we'll wrap up with that. We'll save the final edition of the chopping block for the next episode. We will have some time before the playoffs start. It's pretty cut and dry, but I figured we'd wait a little bit longer to let me and Nate make our case for our teams for one of those spots. So that'll do it for this one. Thanks everybody for listening. Make sure to subscribe to the pod on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening to us. Follow us on all socials at 2for1hoops. And guys, we got the play-in coming pretty soon here. Postseason basketball is nearly upon us.
I don't want to think about it.
I know it's stressing out Mitch, but for the
No,
rest of
think
us,
about
I think we're all looking forward to it. So until then, hope everyone has a great rest of their day.